I get a lot of people asking me how we were blessed to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I don't want to keep that a secret. I want to share it with the world. And so maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get started on my journey of entrepreneurship and getting to a level of freedom? Well, text the word freedom to 737 777 9909. Enter your information in, and we look forward to sharing some information with you. A proven system with small overhead, right? That you can do part-time, spare time, right from the comfort of your home, and have amazing mentors, coaches, and a community of entrepreneurs who are willing to support you and help you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Code Freedom. This is your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 198. And today I'm excited to share with you how knowledge is currency. Knowledge is currency. And let me just tell you what happened to me. So it's not a good thing when you have family in town from out of town, and your AC is not acting the way it's supposed to, And so I had to call someone out to come look at it because I know nothing about air conditioning or anything as it relates to that. And so the guy comes out and he does a couple things, looks at a couple things, and then he figures out what he needs to do, and boom, it's working. I'm like, wow. I mean, just the information and the knowledge that he has is powerful. It was worth it for me to pay for him because I did not have that knowledge that he has. And so it just got me thinking, like, wow, to pay you for the knowledge that you have. What kind of knowledge do you have that people are willing to pay you for? And it would be really important for us to really strengthen our strength, like figure out what we know, what we're passionate about, figure out what we know more than other people. And you have an opportunity to really expand, and as the Bible says, your gift will make room for you. So a couple things. Number one is you want to double down and get even more knowledge than even the people who have knowledge in that industry or that field or that thing. You want to know more than they know, right? You want to like go like be obsessed with everything as it relates to that subject. But then from that standpoint, you don't want to just be obsessed with it and know all this stuff just to know it, just so you can rattle off a couple cool things to the people who don't know that are around you. But you want to learn how to monetize that, because knowledge is currency. Knowledge is currency. In the Bible it says, "In all thy getting, get understanding." It says knowledge, understanding, and wisdom is a principal thing. These things are important. And look, there's something that you know that someone else doesn't know, and they will be willing to pay you for it, and pay you a lot of money, because it could be an emergency. It could be a situation like I had. It could be whatever, but you just want to put yourself in that position, in that space, and be thinking on that level. So I want you to really just sit down and write down on a piece of paper, maybe, what are some things that I know really, really well and I'm passionate about. Because it's one thing to know a lot of things about something, but just not really care about it. But I want you to like write things down that you are so passionate about that you don't mind spending the extra time it takes to learn it. You don't mind being obsessed with it. You don't mind kind of almost being a nerd in that industry, because number one, you love it, but number two, it's going to pay you, and it's going to pay you well, because again, knowledge is currency. Right. And so the other thing is, I find a lot of times that people sometimes, I've said this on the podcast before, but I see people still saying it. I just ran across somebody say it the other day, and they said jack of all trades but master of none. And in my opinion, that's not something to boast about, because that means you know a lot about a lot of things, but show me something that's concentrated. Show me something that's niched down and focused, that you can really turn into monetization, that you can really make a business out of it, that you can really turn it into something that can give you freedom. And that's what this podcast is all about, is freedom. And we all have knowledge in certain subjects, like certain subjects that other people don't know much about, on as much as you, I should say. So really, like when I talk to my brother, man, he is like, the science that he knows. I'm like, he's just spitting out these terms and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I mean, he is a genius, right? And so I think all of us are geniuses in our own given field. And because if I could spend some time talking about some things, and he'd be like, man, like, that's so profound, right? And so we could all go back and forth on certain subjects, certain topics, certain things, because we have this knowledge. And I'm only asking you to take it a step further and really, like, be the master in that field, but also be the master, and then turn that thing into a business, right? Turn that thing into a cash flowing machine where you can create product, you can create digital products, you can do all kind of stuff with it. And now you have the opportunity to have freedom for your family off of something that you absolutely love, right? This is the essence of code freedom, is doing what you love, but also having the income to be able to support what you love, doing what you're called to do, and having the income with that. They go hand in hand. And so it was just a reminder to me, when I had to call him, and he explained it to me, and I'm like, man. And then he just started going through, like, why this happens and why that happens, and how this works and how that works. I'm like, okay, okay, all right. So I'm learning some stuff, and it's cool. But here's what I was gonna say. I find that a lot of people, back to that, jack of all trades and master of none. I find that a lot of people, they spend extra time in subjects that they don't need to do spend time in, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's okay to want to get knowledge in a vast array of subjects. That's I'm not knocking that, right? But 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 it's, in my opinion, it would be so much better for you to say, hey, look, I'll pay you to do what you're an expert in, and I'm just gonna stay laser focused on what I want to be an expert in. Instead of trying to be an expert in everything, I think it's just important to. I mean, yes, I could have probably Googled something. I probably could have looked it up, but I don't mind spending the money for an expert to do something, so I can focus on what my expertise is, because I can make more doing my expertise than I would paying him. And I instead of trying to figure it all out, I mean, we shouldn't try to figure out how to do everything all the time, because then, we are allowing ourselves to be in a position where, we're not focusing in our gift, our strength, and we don't we can't do well, And so that's just a thought, that's just a mindset. Like, for instance, I'll hear people say things like, cutting the grass is therapeutic. And hey, I'm not knocking that at all. But if you could pay somebody who could, a few dollars, who could do the grass for you while you focus on, and that's the whole point that I'm making, is that sometimes people say, well, I just don't have time to do this and I don't have time to do that. Well, here's why. Because you're trying to understand everything, you're trying to do everything. And that's not how the wealthy think. That's not how people who are even living in a life of freedom think. They think, look, I will pay someone who is an expertise in something to do what they do, or who has the time who wants to do something, and I will focus on where my gift is, and I will make it so strong that I become so valuable in the marketplace that they have to come. I can command whatever I want, because I am the best expert in this field, because I spent the time, instead of trying to cut the grass, do the laundry, wash all the dishes, and figure out how to fix everything in the house, right? I mean, think about that. I know people who do that. Like, man, look, I'll take care of it. I'll figure it out. I'll do it, right? And when you do that, all you're doing is taking yourself away from the opportunities that are available to be really, really great at that one thing, and that one thing can bless your entire life. So I hope you guys got some value from this episode, Code Freedom, episode 198. And don't forget, that knowledge is currency. So we're reading The Power of One More by Ed Mylett, and I wanted to bring to the attention of where he talks about living in your matrix, and he talks about the reticular activating system. And I don't say that to impress you with fancy words, but just understand that it's a filter that gives weight to the important things in your life, and it filters out what's not important. So the things that you deem as important, it highlights it, and the things that are not that important, it kind of glosses over it. So you never really see the red pickup truck until you end up getting a red pickup truck, and now you see nothing but red pickup trucks. That's just an analogy of how that reticular activation system works. But he said something that was really key that I just wanted to highlight. Is he says your matrix seeks information that validates your beliefs. Your matrix seeks information that validates your beliefs. And of course, you guys have all seen, the movie with, about the Matrix, the blue pill and the red pill. And so just understanding that we want to develop our beliefs, but then we start to increase our belief level on certain topics and certain things, our belief level, our mindset. It's like we see things differently now because we've shifted our belief. So you have the reality that you live right now, but then there's a reality that you want to live. There's a difference between choosing fate and just falling into free will, where you just go whichever way the wind blows, as I like to say. And so, anyway, long story short, is you get to choose your reality. You get to choose your beliefs, and once you choose that belief, your mind is going to start to find realities, or it'll start to find things that will validate those beliefs, and make them more concrete, so that your life starts to move in a different direction simply because of the new beliefs that you have. I'll just give you one example. You could believe that it's hard to get money, or you can start to change your beliefs and say money comes to me easily and frequently, right? And once you start to get that belief, you do things that bring the income in easier than normal, and now you validated that belief. And so then you do another thing, then another thing, then another thing, and then next thing you know, you have more income that you're earning than you did in the past, simply because you changed your belief and you started to let those beliefs become concrete and validate those beliefs. And now it is your core belief that it's not hard to earn income, but income is attracted to you. Income comes to you because of a set of values and beliefs and work ethic that you now have. So powerful stuff in this book, The Power of One More. And I love to hear from you guys on the Code Freedom engagement page. If you go to thewaytofreedom.info, that's thewaytofreedom.info. I love to hear what you're getting from the book if you grabbed it. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.